Hey there, everybody. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Thanks for joining us on TCM. Up next, the second half of today's Western double feature with the signature big screen Western star, Jack Lemmon. No, not Lemmon. Lemmon was in one Western, Cowboy from 1958. Our movie, The Cowboys, is from Warner Brothers in 1972, and it stars John Wayne. By the 1970s, the purported moral clarity of a good old-fashioned shootout between good guys and bad guys had become a victim of the times. It appeared to many Hollywood observers that those traditional Westerns had ridden off into a dusty sunset. They were being replaced by more modern Westerns, not really in terms of the era, but modern in terms of their more realistic themes. These were grittier pictures, far more nuanced in their depiction of the Old West. Movies like director Robert Altman's McCabe and Mrs. Miller, Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch, and George Roy Hill's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid reinvented a genre that appears to need an invigoration of energy and direction every decade and a half or so. In those movies, the bad guys were often the good guys. At a minimum, the lines were blurred. And then along comes the Duke in The Cowboys, bringing movie audiences back to a more traditional Western with a much simpler, more clearly defined story. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. In this case, John Wayne is the man. He's a rancher with a herd of cattle he needs to get to market, but he's lost all his hired men to the gold rush, so Wayne turns to a group of young school kids. They become literally cowboys, emphasis on the boys. Wayne liked this idea, the story of an old cowboy forced to guide boys to manhood. He liked it so much that he convinced director Mark Rydell to give him the part rather than Rydell's original choice, George C. Scott. From 1972, also featuring Roscoe Lee Brown, Bruce Dern, Colleen Dewhurst, and in his film debut, Robert Carradine, the son of one of Wayne's old pals, John Carradine, The Cowboys. When The Cowboys was released in 1972, moviegoers were surprised to see bad guy Bruce Dern do the cinematically unthinkable. He killed John Wayne. Even worse, he shot the Duke in the back. Dern later said for years afterwards he was constantly confronted by fans outraged that he had the audacity to gun down the Duke even if it was just a movie. But Dern said Wayne rather enjoyed the novelty of being knocked off. 5 years earlier, Wayne and Dern appeared together in another Western, The War Wagon, where John Wayne shot and killed Bruce Dern's character, so in a way Dern was just getting a little payback. Now 81, Bruce Dern is still making movies, even still popping up in Westerns, including an appearance in director Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight from 2015. Coming up, Brad Pitt and Craig Sheffer star in a drama from director Robert Redford.